Hello and welcome to Tirana, Albania. So here we are in Skanderbeg Square, named after Albanian hero George Kastriot Skanderbeg. There's a statue of him just over there. Now I think you'll agree I couldn't have picked better weather to explore this quite frankly fascinating city. It's got an amazing storied and eclectic past. The Romans were here, the ancient Greeks were here, the Ottoman Empire was here, more recently its communist regime. These things have all left their mark, I'm sure, on this city and this country, of course. So let's explore on this beautiful, glorious, sunny winter morning. Now, if you've been a visitor here during the socialist regime, more specifically from 4th of November 1951 until roughly 1968, you wouldn't have seen this statue of Skanderbeg. Instead, you would have seen a mustachioed statue of Joseph Stalin. So this here statue was only placed there on the 500th anniversary of the death of Skanderbeg. As I said, that was 1968. Every aspect of this square kind of represents the entire nation of Albania. The vegetation in this green area here all represents all the varieties of trees to come from this land. Even the stones on the ground in this square were taken from all over Albania. So yeah, a very significant and patriotic place, old Skanderbeg Square. And oh my God, look at that. Look at the mountains over there. Don't know how well you can see them. So there, we can see the mountains there, the snow-capped mountains. Beautiful, eh? Alright guys, so straight ahead we've got the Bej Mosque. Now, of the 8 mosques built in the 18th and 19th centuries, apparently this is the only one still left standing. There we have another view of it. So this was declared a cultural monument of the first category in 1948, so quite an important mosque here. So just adjacent to the mosque we can see the Tirana clock tower, which is 30 meters high and dates back to 1822. You know what, I still haven't had any breakfast, so I've had nothing to eat since that pizza last night, so with that in mind, I think we'll go for a hot dog. Here we go, hot dog stall. Alright, got me a hot dog, pretty big one. So that was just 200 lek, so that's about €2. Not too bad. Ketchup and mustard. Breakfast of champions. Cheers. Right guys, here we are at BunkArt 2, the first of our museums. And as we can see up here, Stila Place. Not sure how if that's how you pronounce it, but anyway, former anti-nuclear bunker of the Ministry of Interior. Let's check it out. So before we go in, a little bit of background history of BunkArt 2. So it reconstructs the history of the Albanian Ministry of Internal Affairs from 1912 to 1991 and reveals the secrets of Sigurimi, the political police that was the harsh persecution weapon used by the regime of Enver Hoxha, pronounced perfectly of course. BunkArt 2 is the first major video museum exhibition dedicated to the victims of communist terror. So there we have it. Let's learn more. Guess we'll learn about the significance of these people on this wall inside. Let's go. In memoriam victimet terra communist. These air raid sirens are so spooky. Something visceral about that sound. Policia. Something disturbing about the sight of all this equipment used by the police to oppress the populace. With the fall of Berlin's wall, the Albanian communist regime began for the first time to provide its police with tools for facing democracy. Facing democracy. So, after the fall of the Berlin Wall, they were still hardcore. Jesus. Does this bring the communist regime to life for you? My God. "36 types of tortures committed by the investigators during the regime. 36 types. Wow. Readiness room. Readiness for what, I wonder? Corridor 3, let's check this one out. Progress depends on the ability to remember. Those who are unable to remember the past are condemned to repeat it. Absolutely. Couldn't be more pertinent today. Wow. The sound of jackboots. Mother Teresa said, "Evil settle roots when a man begins to think that he is better than others." Absolutely. How often are we seeing that in the world nowadays amongst its so-called leaders? The manipulation room. Optical illusions and distortions of reality under dictatorship. Let's see. Which is, of course, exactly what happens under dictatorships. Distortions of reality through control of the media. Okay, do you see a woman or do you see a cat? I see a woman first. What does that say about me? Isn't it symbolic? Barbed wire around the human brain. What a place. Wow. These sirens get to me. Okay, death sentence on those who went missing 1944 to 1991. Look at this. In the period 1944 to 91, over 6,000 people were executed down in Albania with or without a court order, mostly by being shot or hanged. Their bodies were never returned to their families for burial. According to the Institute of Studies of Crimes and Consequences during communism in Albania, they were sentenced to death and killed 5,577 men and 450 women. And these are some of the commanders and commissars of camps and prisons in that period. People responsible under orders for these atrocities. Anti-communist groups that wanted to overturn the regime, 1949 to 1953. So these are the kind of resistance fighters, I suppose. Internment camps. Life of political convicted in the internment camps. About 50,000 people were sent to these internment camps for their, I suppose, ideological, political crimes. The agent who spies. List of devices used by Sigurimi to mask. So it's spy equipment used by the government police. Wow. Bit bulky by today's standards, but like something out of the 60s Bond films. Intercepted's home, collaborator's home. Oh wow, look at that. Camera aiming through the wall to spy. This communist world in the past is just something you just can't even envisage nowadays, can you? Coming from the West at least. Interception of foreigners in hotels. Oh dear. Foreign women living in Albania in 1984 listed by the Sigurimi. Jesus. You wouldn't want to be a tourist in those days. Former prisoners who were extinct. The official list of the dead whose bones were found. Here's some of their pictures. Here are their names, dates. Wow. Look at the lists. Hundreds, possibly thousands. Their clothes. Wow, look at his old trousers, jacket. The lists go on and on and on and on. $5,500 people listed. Got their names and the locations, I suppose. Whew. Book of Impressions. Leave your opinion after visiting BunkArt 2. Well, I think what I would write would be, let's hope we learn from the past and learn not to repeat it. So that was BunkArt 2. What a place, eh? What a place. Real eye-opener. Was it worth €9? Absolutely for me. Crammed with information, exhibits, evidence, reconstructions. The really brings it home, the reality of what Albania used to be like under the communists. Incredible.